Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review, and I have been ready to babble about this band for a couple months now, talking about the new LA Guns, Leopard Skin. This is one of those bands that I've been like a follower of, I guess you'd call that, fan, whatever, since their self-titled debut. Didn't really know about them before that, knew the whole Guns N' Roses history and everything, but it was that first album that I really fell in love with. Actually, one of the bands I was in way back in those days, we played One More Reason. Still fun, super energetic, just cool bass riff song to play. And I just really liked all those the first three albums were really good. Cocktail Loaded gets all the praise, but I always really liked the debut. That was like one that I still, to this day, I really love. And they definitely had that sleaze rock sound, I guess. It's kind of what people refer to that as. It was a little different than, the hair metal or whatever was going on in those days. They kind of stood out a little bit from the crowd for me, and I always kind of liked them. And when they took their little detours that they did here and there, some of that was okay. Some of it I have never listened to ever again, but they've always tried a few different things, and this album is no different. As in that they're trying different things, that is, because it's definitely different. It doesn't have, if you're looking for nostalgia, not a whole lot of that here on this one. The last two albums that they did, that Tracy Guns has produced, left a little bit flat for me. Songs weren't quite, what I was hoping for. The production was a little muddy, which is really strange because Tracy Guns actually does production well. He's produced other things. I think he did the Blackbird Angels, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong there, but might have been. Even the Sunbomb stuff, I think he did those. I remember those sounded really good. Those are really good albums too. And so finally this album comes out. It's got good production. Finally, it's got really clear sound. Although the guitar sound on it is a lot different than what they've been doing. It's still got that crunch to it, but it's got a lot more clean edge to it. In fact, the whole vibe I get from this album is like garage rock. Pick up a lot of, if I was listening to, Steven Van Zant's radio show, whatever that was called, I can't remember, I'd expect to hear a couple of these songs on there, wouldn't sound out of place at all. I was also getting a lot of especially 70s vibes, the opening song here. It's the first chords of it, I was thinking Quadrophenia. Taste It's the name of the first one. Some Foreigner melody and similarities there, feels like the first time type stuff going on in there. Although that riff is kind of cool once the song kicks in. It was very repetitious, but really memorable. And Johnny Martin on bass there, and Adam Hamilton really locked in and really good. And then the next song, keep it PG, I guess it's called Lucky MFer, kicks into one of the coolest bass lines I've ever think I've heard from these guys since One More Reason. And then it changes into the main riff of the song and really kicks in this funky cool groove thing going on there. And then from that point on, it kind of, several of the songs kind of follow this same upper mid-tempo feel with a whole lot of 70s, I'm feeling like Alice Cooper type vibes, like the Alice Cooper band type stuff, even a little bit of T-Rex. I was kind of just getting that feel of in a lot of the stuff. Just the tone of the guitar a lot. It's very clear and crisp, not as heavy and crunchy as what I've heard from them in the past. It had that twanginess to it, and that pretty much carries on for the next few songs up until Runaway Train. And that one's way out in left field. I can only describe it as fast country, and maybe a touch of Johnny Lee Hooker going on there, a little bit of blues feel to it, but not really enough to make it not sound country. And I'm not this style of country. I'm not a huge fan of at all. So this one was a little bit of a clunker for me. Didn't sound like LA Guns at all to me. Although I will say that Phil on this album, he's always done this. I coined the term here a couple reviews ago, personality over pitch, which works great with certain singers. And he's one of these guys that he probably sounds better not being quite on key all the time anyway. Wrong is more right in this case. And I think his vocal styling just really brings that LA Gun sound home here. It kind of like, not in this particular song, but overall on the album. Because when it kicks in the next song, he's following the money. He's right back there, just doing what he does. And the melodies on this are actually, fairly memorable. The one that kind of stuck out the most to me, aside from the first two songs from this point on, was The Masquerade, which doesn't sound like any other Guns N' Roses, LA Gun song, but it's got that acoustic stuff going on. It's like, I guess it's the ballad of the album, and it's the most reminiscent, I guess, of earlier sounding LA Gun stuff. Although obviously you got Tracy and Phil playing on here, and they have that LA Gun sound, and every now and then you kind of hear a glimpse of it every now and then. This one's probably got that most reminiscent sound of it. And it ends with a song just called If You Want. It's kind of a mid-tempo rocking type song. It was pretty good. Not the highlight of the album by any means, but okay way to end the album. The other thing I really noticed about this album is that Tracy's guitar playing skills have like really escalated. I started noticing that quite a while ago, especially on the Sunbomb stuff. So if you had a chance to hear that, it's pretty cool. He really has gotten a lot more speed. He's always been very melodic with the solos, I think, and he just technically just gotten better. I don't think he's lost any of the feel at all. It's funny because I was listening to his League of Gentlemen stuff here a while back, a couple weeks ago actually. And a lot of this, you can hear he's definitely a fan. In this album here, the LA Guns, you can see he's a big fan of that 60s and 70s style music, because that's mainly what that League of Gentlemen stuff is. And he brought a little bit of that into this album, I feel. Just hints of it there, but more in the garage rock style. If you're not familiar with what garage rock is, you will be after you listen to this album. So anyway, that's kind of my quick take on it anyway. If anybody else has anything they want to add to what they feel about it, if you heard this, what you think, it's kind of my quick take. I listened to this thing like 6 or 7 times, like right in a row. And unfortunately, it's like one of those albums that's cool. I really enjoyed it. Some of the songs in the middle there, I couldn't tell you which one was which, because they all have that same feel, and nothing really changed a lot there. Although I'd still rate this pretty good. I'm sure if over more listens, you kind of like get to know the album better. I would probably skip over Runaway Train, but other than that, I actually enjoyed this album, and the highlights were The Masquerade and then the first 2 songs. And if they keep making music like this, that's cool. But like I said, if you feel free to comment what you think about them. You got any cool LA Gun stories? Always love to hear cool stories from people. So all this is about just sharing what we think about music, what we like, what we dislike. Nothing really to argue about. We all have our own tastes, and that's what it's all about. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Keep this music alive, because if these guys are going to keep putting out cool, interesting stuff like this, I'm still going to buy it. I'll be waiting in line with my credit card. So anyway, until then, we'll see you.